Hello, Tony.
Hello, Catherine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
Yeah, it's so nice to be here helping you out on the spring pledge drive for K-Squid. I love Saturdays. I love Saturday radio because everybody's relaxed at home, and when the mice are away, you know what I'm saying, right? So we all have a good time. But if we have learned anything from this past year, it's that we all need each other. As isolating as the quarantine was and still is for a lot of people, we have learned that having a place to gather is essential, even if that means gathering around your radio on a Saturday morning and hearing from members of your community. So during our spring pledge drive right now, we're posing the question, what do you value? Mm-hmm. What do you value?
Such a good question.
Yeah, but you are listening, so I'm guessing you value community radio and the mix of these wonderful programs, unique programs that is K-Squid. So we're asking you to chip in and support us. Mm-hmm. So we can support you. It's that simple.
Absolutely. This is just a real opportunity to support that, which supports you. We give our money to causes that we believe in and to help out people that we think need. And here we are, community radio station. We are volunteer run, and we do have expenses that we have office. We have a cell tower well, it's not a cell tower exactly. We have a radio tower to broadcast from. And this is your opportunity to support this Santa Cruz institution.
So please right now, take a moment, go online at ksqd.org and give what you can to keep K-Squid solvent during these very difficult times. And you can also call 831-900-5773, and Max, sitting right across the window, will take your pledge over the phone. 831-900-5773.
Absolutely. And of course, ksqd.org also has a nice big donation button on it, and we welcome your donations.
We're so proud of the fact that over 700 listeners have made the decision to become family members of KSQD. So please join this special group of very satisfied customers by calling 831-900-5773. Thank you very much for being part of this pledge drive.
Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But in your dreams, whatever they be, dream a little dream of me.
Good morning. You are listening to KSQD Santa Cruz, K-Squid 90.7 FM, streaming live at ksqd.org. I am Catherine Bell, and this is the Dream Journal, a weekly show where we explore the healing powers of your nighttime dreams through conversations with dream experts and with you. There it is. Beautiful music of Rick Cleffel, this week featuring Sounds of the Ocean. In the words of Carl Jung, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. Are you a highly sensitive person? So is Pam Muller. We'll be talking today with Sweet Georgia Pam about how HSPs have the rich inner world perfect for dream work. We'll also be talking about her experiences as a spiritual director and her training at the Haden Institute, so stay tuned for that. So this is Catherine Bell of Experiential Dreamwork, and welcome to the Dream Journal. The Dream Journal is also a podcast, so you can look for that in all of your regular podcast places, and also on the KSQD website where you can find it, ksqd.org/the-dream-journal. So before you head on over to the Dream Journal program page, though, you can take a pause at ksqd.org and show us a little love. A little money goes a long way in a small station like ours, and we are here to support the community, and we would highly appreciate your contributions. So, starting with my personal dream work. What is up for me today? Well, I think I might even mention this dream last week, but sometimes these things stay with you. And the dream that I am mulling over this moment is one in which I am, it's one of these strange ones, where I'm holding a record album, one of those old vinyl things, and I'm holding it right about at my waist. And I'm reaching across and kind of plucking the side of the record with my thumb and making this bass sound of boom, 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 boom. And playing along with a band. We are just playing with each other. We're maybe rehearsing or something, and it's just so fun. And I can get different tones by pressing the record in different places. And there's a hole that's appearing in this record because I'm stressing it. I'm bending it and unbending it. And I'm kind of worried about that in the dream. But I've been working with this dream and the hole in the record through a program with Christine Price called Mirrors in the Dark, which I highly recommend, an online dream gestalt-based program. And I did a little conversation with the hole in the record. Turns out, even though in the dream I was quite concerned about the hole, that the hole itself had a life of its own, and that it was shining out with a kind of a golden light, and it turned into a hole, W-H-O-L-E. And there's something about that from the dream perspective, it seemed like a bad thing. But as I got into dialogue with this part of the dream, it turned out to be an opening, an opportunity. So, that's one of the things that you can consider, that when you're looking at your own dreams, is don't always trust the point of view of the dreamer. The dreamer is sometimes the last to know. Sometimes you want to take on the role, like kind of pretend that you are different parts of the dream and just let yourself feel into what that part has to say. And you might be surprised. So just, trust your imagination, trust your subconscious, and ask, so what do you have for me? And then step back and answer as the item in the dream. And for me, I have a whole lot of openings coming my way, I guess. So today, as usual, I'm inviting call-ins during the last 20 minutes of the show, so you can get ready for that. You might want to jot that number down now. It's the same number that you can call in for pledges. It's 831-900-5773. That's 900-KSQD. You can share a dream, ask a question, or leave a pledge. Max is on the phones right now, and he will be there for you. So save that number and give a call in about 30 minutes. All right, I want to say hello to our guest, Pam Muller. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
I'm doing really well, thank you. So glad to have you on the show.
It's such an honor to be here today. I'm pretty excited about it.
Excellent. So Pam Muller is known affectionately as Sweet Georgia Pam, and she is a trained spiritual director specializing in dream work, and she is the author of the book, 33 Ways to Work with Your Dreams. She is a mentor for the Haden Institute's DreamWork training program and serves as the president of the board for the nonprofit Zeitgeist, a platform for training spiritually independent seekers. And you can visit her webpage at sweetgeorgiapam.com. So hi.
Hi. I'm excited about everything we're getting ready to get into today.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot here. And I want to start by finding out for you, Pam, how did you first get interested in dreams and also in spiritual direction? And tell me, what is spiritual direction? So there's 3 questions. Take your pick.
And it's always funny when I kind of tell my background because it just comes out in a different way every single time. So I never really know where I'm going to go with it. But so I will say that I started with dreams and dream work, and that led me like Alice down the rabbit hole to get to the spiritual direction component of my work. For me, I was going through a particularly dark period in my life where I was having some kind of life struggles and looking for trying to make sense of what was going on in my world. And I started to actually play with the idea that dreams might be able to, give me some insight. But I didn't actually understand what I was playing with. I just was like, sure, what if, pretend that a cardinal means a visitor, or I used the dream dictionaries to just kind of get into the playful language of the dreaming mind. And lo and behold, I started to recognize that there was some validity to it. The dreams actually started to, like you already understand, bring up the life issues that I was avoiding and give me these stories that I could like really soften my gaze and get curious about my life issues. And so dreams just, they hooked me.
You know, I'm going to jump in because I love that phrase, to soften my gaze and get curious. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what I have figured out about. It's kind of why dreams helped me move into that realm of spiritual direction, because you probably see this too. When people share a dream with you, they come at it from this really playful place. And, you know, when we were toddlers, play was the way that we learned. We would push our boundaries through play. And so when I work with people with dreams, I noticed that they would drop their persona and drop into this playful space, and emotionally they could start to stretch and push their boundaries.
So the dreams themselves are very playful. They're certainly mischievous. There's a lot going on. But then if we get to work with our dreams in a playful way, it sounds like you're suggesting that we can play with the dreams. I always talk about dream work, but maybe that's too serious. Maybe I need a new phrase like dream play or something.
I just, you know, it excites me so much to work with my dreams that I became obsessed about showing everybody about the playful nature. It's my perch. I get on this soapbox about dreams and I get so excited, and it pulls people into that shared excitement. And
Absolutely.
then I'm like, this is a safe place for you to really dive into your deep, hard things.
Well, this is a wonderful soapbox for you, Pam. I wonder, what do you want to bring? Can you bring an example, or what else do you want to say about that?
Oh gosh. Well, here's what I will say. I was in a dream sharing group one time, and I was sharing one of my dreams, and I knew I didn't actually work the dream before I shared it. I knew it was an important dream for me, and by that time in my life, I knew I could trust my dreams to show me, like take me directly to the heart of an issue. So I was in the middle of sharing, so I had saved it up for this group that of people that I wanted to share this dream with them. So I'd saved it up. So I think the tension for me around this dream built up over the course of the week. So by the time I sat down and started sharing the dream, Catherine, I got through the middle of it, and suddenly, as I was sharing it, the whole meaning of this dream became clear to me. And it was such a deep, sensitive, vulnerable part of my life that I stopped mid-word, and my eyes filled up with tears, and I just kind of broke open. I was really grateful that I was in this container with these people that I really trusted. So dream work has the capacity to take this playful thing and then go, okay, this is the background of what you're really ready to work in your inner life. And so I've presented it to you in this trickster kind of way, but I really am saying something true and deep and resonant for you.
Well, one thing that I get from what you're saying, Pam, is that you had the intuition that you wanted to open this particular dream with another person or in a group with support. And I really love that you trusted your intuition around that.
Yes. Yeah, that is a big part of it. Learning to work with this playful language and trust it and lean into where it's trying to lead you.
Yeah, can you tie in the playfulness? Because I mean, this sounds like a very I don't know what the right word is, but it sounds very tender and painful, perhaps. But how do we bring in the playful aspects?
Yeah. So for me, learning that I could trust that my dreams are this side of me that wants me to move through these painful things and is willing to like stay at my pace and is going to present these playful perspectives that seem so disconnected. That to me is what piques my curiosity. So when I have a dream, okay, I'll tell you, I had a dream last night.
Ooh, perfect.
I told my husband this when I woke up, and I have done no work around it. I actually dreamed a riddle, which has never happened before. So in my dream, there were these bombs, weirdly enough. They were wrapped as a present, and they were buried around the beach. So I, with my dog, we sniffed out this bomb and opened this package, and we had to answer a riddle to deactivate this bomb. And the riddle was, let me see if I can remember it. It was it's something about pudding. It said, what does all pudding have to have? That was the riddle. And so we had to unscramble these words. It's so bizarre. We had to unscramble these words to figure it out. And suddenly, like, all the letters fell into place for me. And I was like, S-P-O-O-N, a spoon. All pudding has to have a spoon. And I freaked out. And the bomb was disconnected. And I saved the day in my dream.
With a spoon.
With a spoon. So the playfulness is, what in the world does that mean connected to my waking life, right? So I'm totally drawn in and curious about this real life riddle and a riddle in the dream.
Right.
That's where the playfulness comes in.
Okay. Well, certainly that dream is definitely playful, although it has the serious aspect of a bomb getting ready to blow up, which is many bombs. But then there's also this riddle about pudding, which is silly enough to begin with, and then the answer is a spoon.
Yes, exactly. So, after studying the language of the dreaming mind, what we know, we who do dream work, is that there are some guiding principles around how the unconscious uses this language of the dreaming mind. So, the guiding principles being that a bomb is a metaphor. It's not necessarily talking about real violence, but it's talking about some emotional threat or some emotional explosiveness, some explosive metaphorically. So following those language rules.
So I'm kind of sitting here, Pam, and I actually I have a question about the dream. Can I? But I want to go to a break here, just to play a little bit of music. Play this piece of music, and then when we come back, if it's all right with you, maybe I'd like to ask you a little more about the dream, or move on to whatever seems right. I'm going to play a clip from "Rain of Love" by Coldplay.
Perfect. Rain of love, I can't let go. To the sea I offer, sailing low could sway me up. I'm just a prisoner in a
All right, this is the Dream Journal. In about 15 minutes, I'll be opening up the phone, so you'll be able to call in at that point to 831-900-5773. And in the meantime, I want to just say hi to Tony Rosimano.
Hey, Catherine. We are back again here with our spring pledge drive. It's fascinating to hear people talk about their dreams because something so personal, something so individual still manages to connect with the listener, even though it's essentially meaningless to anybody else except the person who has that dream. It's something I hadn't experienced before. But bringing us together, joining us together in community is what K-Squid is doing.
You can go online, easy peasy, ksqd.org.
And because you are enjoying this very fine program, please call in right now.
This is KSQD Santa Cruz. This is the Dream Journal, and I'm here live with Pam Muller. Hey, Pam.
Hey, Catherine.
Yeah. I wonder if you would be okay for me to ask a question or two about your dream.
Yeah, sure. Go right ahead.
Okay. So I'm thinking that, you described the bomb as being kind of a metaphor for something emotional happening or something in life, which makes sense to me. And I'm curious about the whole pudding thing. Do you like pudding?
I do. I haven't had it in a very long time, so it's not something I have normally or regularly.
Well, is it something that you would have had when you were younger?
Yes.
So
sure.
it kind of brings you back to a childhood kind of a comfort thing. Does that sound about right?
Yep, that's right.
So for me, there's something here about the spoon, meaning is just having the pudding is not enough. You have to actually eat it. Like you have to go back to that place of comfort, go back to that place where where you can connect with that childlike sense of being taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and there's something indulgent about dipping a spoon into a little container of pudding.
Absolutely, yes. And so maybe there's some indulgence that you need to be doing a little more indulgence in your life, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, Pam, thank you for playing along with the pudding there. But I wanted to ask you about highly sensitive persons. What is that to you, and tell me how that ties in with dreams.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite tie-ins with dreams. A highly sensitive person is a genetic, innate temperament trait that was discovered probably about 30 years ago by Dr. Elaine Aron. So she writes all about what it means to be a highly sensitive person on her website, which is hsperson.net. And basically what she discovered is that scientists had already discovered this trait among humans and mammals, all sorts of animals on our planet, that it's basically about 20% of the population of
That's a lot.
And animals, right? It is a lot. 15 to 20% of the population are highly sensitive individuals. And what that means is my nervous system basically takes in stimuli in high definition, where my nervous system is always taking in input, and all of it is being processed all at the same time. So I'm a deep meaning maker. So when the lighting changes in a room, unconsciously, my body goes, what was that? What's going on there? Why did the lighting just change? And how is that going to affect me in my situation?
Deep meaning maker. Interesting.
Yeah. So highly sensitive people have rich creative inner lives because we are unconsciously sort of wired to notice a lot more detail in emotions, in body language, in any sensory input. We notice it on a deeper level, and we integrate more information on a deeper level. Yeah. So
Interesting.
So right. So highly sensitive people have this sort of, colorful, rich life. And dreams specifically are always helping us try to integrate what we're learning.
True.
So for a highly sensitive person, they're kind of tuned into that creativity in a natural way, so that dream work is, they're kind of primed to make the best use of dream work by going, what does that mean? Oh, that means this. Oh, I can apply it to my life in this way.
So it's kind of like pattern seeking or pattern recognition?
Yes, right? Yes, but on a nuanced level, right? So we're talking about emotions, we're talking about, colors in the world, we're talking about the way somebody's voice changes in a conversation. All of those things are really important for highly sensitive peoples to conduct their life.
Interesting. Is there a continuum, or does it seem to be a kind of all or nothing thing?
Well, so once Dr. Aron put this terminology around it, then scientists who had already been documenting it in their own terms, like they were studying monkeys and calling it one thing, and then there was another biologist studying sunfish and calling it a different thing. So once it all converged under this highly sensitive net, then the studies around this topic have exploded in the last 20 or 30 years. So there's a whole lot of new information always coming out about what we think the highly sensitive trait means, what we think it is, how it affects everybody differently. But last I heard about it, it is you either are a highly sensitive person or you're not. But then being sensitive to different things is a whole different descriptor, right? So this highly sensitive trait is something specific.
Okay, and how would you know that you are one?
Yeah, there is a self-assessment on Dr. Aaron's website, the hsperson.net, that will help you self-identify. But basically, I can tell you there's 4 character traits for highly sensitive people. So if you listen to these 4 and they resonate with you, it's probably true that you're a highly sensitive person. So the character traits spell out the word does, D-O-E-S, or does, which is what I like to think of it as. So the D is depth of processing, which means we process everything on a really deep level. So everything has meaning. We tend to take movies more seriously than other people. We tend to get drawn into news stories and they affect us a lot more than other people. That's depth of processing. The O stands for easily overwhelmed. And highly sensitive people tend to suddenly need to escape a situation. Like at a party, I don't know it's coming, but suddenly I'm can't take anymore. Emotionally, I'm just nope, I'm done. I have to leave now.
Oh yeah.
So we get easily overwhelmed. The E stands for emotional reactivity. And I like to think of this as I walk into a room and my body scans and does emotional triage. I look and go, who needs emotional support here? So anytime there's a growing sense of tension in a room, it affects me way earlier than it would affect somebody who's not highly sensitive. So we're highly emotionally reactive. And the S stands for sensitive to subtle stimuli, which is what I was talking about. When the air in the room changes, we suddenly get a little bit uncomfortable and don't know why. Because on a nervous system level, we have adjusted to uh-oh, something's changing here, and we take it in faster.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. That seems to, I can check off pretty much all those boxes. Maybe there is something about people who do work with dreams who tend to be more in this category.
And it goes along with spiritual direction as well.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, which the Haden Institute. So my path was, I found my way to dreams first, and I was just soaking up everything I could read. I discovered Jung, and I was just there's knowledge about this. So I was kind of going it alone in the wilderness with dreams. And then it's I discovered this little hut in the woods called the Haden Institute. Because I had followed dreams, and for me, they lead me to that deep connection with the divine within me, because dreams take us to that intimate experience with something within us that's bigger than us. Because we touch our dreams, but we can't control our dreams, right?
Right.
So that takes us to that point of mystery in us. And I was there's a spiritual component to this. So when I found the Haden Institute, they specialize in the Christian mystical tradition, Jungian psychology, and dream work.
Right.
So they have a spiritual director training program, and they have a dream work training program. So when I found this community, it was this little tribe in the woods that I had been seeking this whole time.
So tell me about spiritual direction. Is that where you would go to somebody as you were starting to make more connections with spirituality or want more connections? Well, tell me about that, please.
Sure, yeah. So spiritual direction is, it's an ancient profession, but it has existed inside churches and religions up until now. And now we have this big spiritual but not religious movement, and people are exploring all kinds of religions. And so spiritual direction is kind of coming out of the woodwork now. It's similar to life coaching, but with a spiritual anchor. So if you need a sacred check-in, a spiritual director's job is just to hold a 1 hour, deep conversation where I'm actually not directing anything. I'm watching and listening to your story, and then you're unpacking your spirituality.
Okay.
We look for, where's the movement of the divine here for you? Where are the intimate experiences, and kind of trying to help you weave spirituality more concretely into your everyday life.
Okay, so it's not that you're actually directing the people what to do, because the name is a little misleading. This spiritual director sounds to me like I'm going to tell you, what you need to do.
Yes, that's right. It is. There's this education piece that has to go along with it, but it's the same with dream work. I find I call myself a dream interpreter all the time, not because I interpret dreams, but because I have to meet people where they are. And when you hear dream interpreter, you at least have some context to understand, and then hopefully when people meet me, they kind of understand that it's not, it's not just me selling you what your dream means. We're going to work it out and unpack it together. And I'm just going to sit in awe and wonder with you.
Right. So that's good, because I also have issues with the word interpretation around dreams. People often say, "Oh, you're going to interpret my dreams." Well, not really. So it's the same thing as the coaching. The direction, spiritual direction. It's not so much that you're telling them where their spirituality is, as sitting with them and finding out what their spiritual experiences are. Is that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, I sit in awe and wonder with you, because we need witnesses to our journeys. We need somebody to go, when we have a prophetic dream, without working with a spiritual director or a dream person, there's nowhere really to unpack that experience in our society, right? So by learning for myself that I can take my dreams seriously, it gave me context to take those mystical experiences seriously as well.
I see. So I'm curious about the Haden Institute. I understand they actually have a conference coming up. I've been talking a lot about the IASD conference in June, 13th through 17th, but I understand the Haden Institute also has a dream conference coming up. Do you know about the details about that? Do you want to share about that, or is that kind of not your department?
Oh my gosh, I would love to share about that.
Okay.
I sort of wave the Haden flag every chance that I get, because they tie that dream and spirituality together in such a beautiful way that is protective of people's psychology and psyche. The dreams are such raw material that it is really important that it's talked about and explored in a safe environment. Yes. So the Haden Institute has developed a really great culture for that. They have a summer dream and spirituality conference that's coming up Memorial Day weekend. And in fact, it's not the weekend, it's the week of Memorial Day. So for a whole week, there are lectures, there are workshops, you are assigned to a dream group, and then you meet with that group 4 times over the course of the week. So everybody gets a chance to share a dream. You all do this projective dream work, which is the Haden method, together. So everybody gets a chance to really get deep into some good soul discovery work.
Right. Is there a web page that you can send people to listen to that, to find out more about the conference?
Yes, absolutely. So HadenInstitute.com is the website, and Haden is spelled H-A-D-N. I'm sorry, H-A-D-E-N.
HadenInstitute.com.
HadenInstitute.com. And Mirabai Starr is going to be the keynote for this year's summer conference. So it's going to be really rich.
Okay. So thank you. This is Pam Muller. My name is Catherine Bell, and you're listening to The Squid. K-Squid, 90.7 FM Community Radio of Santa Cruz, and the phone lines are open for people to call in to talk about their dreams or to ask a question. You also can use that same number to make a pledge. So the number is 831-900-5773. And that is your opportunity to bring a dream that you might want to share with folks. Or to support that which supports you. This is my phrase. I've been saying that a lot today.
And the program is Dream Journal on
yes,
K-Squid.
don't forget that.
It is live. It is local here in Santa Cruz. I'll prove it. The time is 10:36 on Saturday, April 24th. This is not a tape program. This is not a syndicated network program. This is a live local radio program on K-Squid. And as far as I know, Catherine, Is there any other program like this, dreams, concerning dreams, on the air, on a radio station, anywhere else in the country?
You know, I don't know that there is any other radio show about dreams in the whole country. I know there's a few online programs. So like Unity Online, Kelly Sullivan Walden has a dream program, and there's some podcasts about dreams. But as for live shows, this might be one of the only. I still don't know about any other live shows.
Programming is unique to K-Squid. For a long time, Democracy Now! Was not available on any radio station in Santa Cruz County. And we also brought Tom Hartman's show to the airwaves locally, where the show has never aired before. So we do receive tremendous support for bringing these vital alternative news programs to listeners in our community. And I'd like to know, what are your thoughts? Do you like the programs? Call us, 831-900-5773. Let us know how you feel. If you love the programs, please let us know. And that same number, 831-900-5773, is the number to call for pledges, or you can pledge securely on our online website, ksqd.org.
Right, lots of options online, credit card, PayPal, Venmo, I believe even. So we're kind of entering the modern age, kicking and screaming. So this is your chance to join the community. We do have a caller on the phone, so that means there's another line open. If anyone else wants to call, the number is 831-900-5773. I want to say hello to our caller. Hello.
Hi there, Captain.
Oh, I can hear you, kind of. Try again.
I said hi.
Oh, there we go. Is this Ellen?
Yes, this is Ellen.
Hey, thanks for calling in. Glad to have you here. Our guest today is Pam Muller. So what do you have for us today, Ellen?
Well, one thing is that Pam helped me understand that my daughter most definitely is a highly sensitive person.
Ah.
And, we have to find a new home. It's been a little challenging because she's totally overwhelmed that, we have to move out. Until she doesn't want to help find it. She just wants to know she has a home to move to. Anyway, that's beside the point. That was very interesting that she shared that. But I wanted to share an actually very old dream of mine because it's absolutely the most prophetic dream I've had in my life. And I heard talking about prophetic dreams, and I wanted to know, how is it possible that 3 days before something happened in my life, which was one of the most intense things that ever happened, that I had a dream about it? I just don't understand how that's possible. But in this case, I was traveling in Europe, and I was in München, Germany, Munich, and I was staying with a friend of mine that had met in Portugal, and I lived in Lisboa for half a year.
I'm sorry, you're a little hard to. I can't. It's a little hard to understand you. You said you were traveling in Germany, and then what was after that?
I was traveling around I was out of the country for 3 years. So I was traveling around Europe originally, and I met a really good friend when I lived in Portugal for half a year, teaching English. This friend was originally from Goa, India, so he's Indian, which is interesting because now I have two kids that are half Indian. So India is very big in my life. So at that point, he had gone to Germany. I don't know how we kept in track. There were no cell phones, there were no emails, but somehow I had an address for him in Munich, and I found him in Germany, in München. And I was staying with him, and then one day I woke up and I had this crazy dream. I was only staying with him a week or two, and I was it was right before Christmas, and we were about to go down into München, downtown, and meet a friend of his. We were all excited about that. But 3 days before we were going to go do that, I had this dream, and I told him we're riding on the Straßenbahn, which is the subway system there. I said, we're riding on the Straßenbahn, and they have these controllers that come and make sure you check your ticket, because it's all honor system, and you have to check in your ticket. And I have to admit, we made this decision because I'm like, well, I'm a foreigner and I don't understand, and every ticket was really expensive. So I would just write and not click my ticket and say, well, if they ever say anything, I'll just say I didn't know, which happened to me in Denmark. It's true, we don't always know these things. And so he was like, for always, we were very careful. He's like, well, we'll always sit by the doors, and I'll always look, and I'll always know if a controller's coming. And normally we always did that. And then I had this dream. In the dream, 2 controllers came, and they found me without the proper ticket, and it was serious. Like, I got arrested or whatever in the dream. It was very serious. And so I told him about the dream. And so for like 2 days, we were super, super careful. Always sitting by the door. He would always be looking. Don't ask me why I wasn't using the ticket properly. Young, 21 or something, taking risks in life. And then all of a sudden, the third day, we were so excited. He was going to go meet. He had some German girlfriend. And we were going to go down in. We were in a really good mood. And we got on that Strassenbahn, and we didn't sit near the door, and we weren't paying attention. And all of a sudden, these 2 controllers came on. And I'm telling you, they looked exactly like the 2 in my dream. Like, one was big and had like a big uniform, looked like a Gestapo from the SS, from the Nazi time. And that was exactly the people in the dream. And we were caught, and we couldn't get out the door, and we had our tickets checked. And when I explained, in English, I don't know what you're talking about, blah blah blah. They didn't care. They took me in, and normally you just pay a fine, and then that's it. You pay a fine because you didn't do it right. And so my friend and I didn't have my passport on me at the time, and I just kept in their house because I don't run around carrying a passport because I had one stolen once. Well, that happened. Actually happened a month or so later. But the point is, I didn't run around with my passport. So they didn't have my ID, and I didn't have the money for the fine. And my friend was like paranoid because he told me he'll never risk doing that because he was a brown-skinned man. We already knew about racism back then. He's like, oh no, I'm in Germany. I'm a brown-skinned man from India. I'm never going to ride without my ticket properly checked. But you, as an American and a white woman, you can probably get away with it. That was our logic. And I'm just so curious. So yeah, I got taken in, and then the guy in the counter, he was so mean to me, and he didn't totally Nazi dude. Did not believe. I'm just using that as he's very fascist thinking, and everybody else they bring in there was round up a bunch of people, and everyone else paid their fine and left, and I didn't have the money, and he wouldn't let me leave, and I didn't have my ID, so he had no right to hold me, and then he decided to arrest me, and I spent 5 days in jail. It was the most intense experience of my life, and I'm just curious. How did I ever know the future? How did I dream that?
Very interesting.
Warning. They said warning, and then we heeded the warning for 2 days, right? And but as soon as we let it down, boom, it happened. How did I know that?
Well, let's see. Pam, do you have any thoughts about that?
So I do have some thoughts. I don't have an answer.
Right.
Because I don't know that we can answer this question. My thoughts, though, are that this is why I do the work. This is what brought me to the spiritual direction component of dream work, is because when I first had my very first dream that came true the next day, I was like, oh my God, does this mean I can tell the future now? What am I supposed to do with this information? Because we just really don't have a context to have that conversation. So Ellen, I'm so glad that you thought to call in about this one, because this is the crossroads for me between that place of mystery and just everyday dreams, right? Because there are some ways we could think about it and explain it, right? So probably if you had been riding this subway within this situation, your mind is already starting to kind of go through what if scenarios. What if we get caught? What's our plan? And so you're already priming the pump for predicting some situation where you get caught, like your mind playing that out. It's possible that those particular people were on the train some other time before. Maybe they are giving off the vibes of more strict than some of the other, security people or whatever. So there's lots of ways that we could probably unpack this experience and explain it. But I think the idea that our unconscious can tap into some the collective psyche is really rich and inviting us to look closer at our dreams so that when we have a prophetic dream like this, we've already practiced understanding our own dreaming language.
I've wondered if perhaps we kind of always do have a little access to information that's outside of our particular time zone, but when we're meaning in the future or the past, but when we're asleep, we're more available to it.
Yeah, Jung theorized that there is this collective unconscious, and in that collective human unconscious, we can tap into stuff across time. We can, people have dreams of past lives that when you do your research turn out to be accurate information about a past life that there's no way they could have known about. And this is another good example of that. Like, how did I know about it? Well, the dream space has access to that, even if we can't control it.
Well, sorry. Ellen?
Sorry, this is Ellen. I kind of come to the realization, I don't know if it's real or not, that something in me says that there's like this matrix, and because through my life more and more things happen, and I start realizing, wow, I thought when I was younger everything was free will, but now I'm starting to think there's so much more like destiny, and then I say destiny or fate, it's more like I believe there's like a matrix that's already been webbed, but there is no past, present, or future. It's so bizarre, it's hard to explain. And so, yeah, maybe that was already in there matrix, and because there's no really past, present, or future, it was just, destiny, or I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Well, there's something about the intensity of your experience that I think makes it more likely that it would have entered your dreaming consciousness, that you said it was one of the most horrible experiences of your life. And I wonder if that emotional component ups the likelihood that we dream about it.
Right. I mean, who could, being put in jail in a foreign country and not knowing what's going on for 5 days was so unbelievable. I can't even.
Yeah.
I'll write a book someday.
Ellen, the other thing that I would also like to add about that is with dream interpretation or dream work, I always like to say that the dreams are from you and for you and to you. And so what you determine as the meaning of that dream is accurate, right? So you are pulling on all of your unconscious and your experience. None of the rest of us have dreamed that dream. So what resonates as true for you is true for you. Our job as dream workers is to just kind of help you brainstorm and navigate like what feels true and what feels not accurate for you.
That's beautifully put, Pam. I totally endorse that definition.
Great.
Definitely true. He definitely took it as.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again, Ellen, please?
Well, my friend and I really took it as a warning. We were very careful, like I said, for the first few days, and then I guess we just forgot about it, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Ellen. It's really interesting to think about the space-time continuum and precognitive dreams and the cultural collective. So thanks for bringing that in. And I also appreciate your comment about recognizing highly sensitive persons, and that would be really a service to every listener here to start to consider whether certain people in your lives are highly sensitive and maybe give them a little space.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ellen. Bye now.
Thank you, Alan.
Okay. So we have a few more minutes. Is there what is like on the top of your mind right now, Pam, that you want to finish up with?
Oh my goodness. I don't know where to go with that because I love that she identified for her daughter this high sensitivity. I do think it is a beautiful thing if a loved one can introduce this term to somebody who's highly sensitive, somebody who's feeling easily overwhelmed or highly emotionally reactive, because for me, it gave me the foundation to like fully dive into and accept my sensitivity. So dream work became much better as I learned more about this trait, the way that my nervous system operates. So I basically gave more credit and credence to my ideas about dream work, and I leaned deeper into this as a skill, and it bloomed because of that. So I love that Ellen connected that for her daughter, and maybe, you know, some other listeners will do their own research as well. It's great.
Well, we actually, we're near the end of the show, but we actually have a caller. If you have a really quick comment, we have a minute or two. I'll say hello to the caller.
Hello. Hi. So I was hearing you talk about the collective unconsciousness and kind of like accessing that in the sleeping state more easily.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever studied anything about the Aboriginal religion and the concept of dream time, I guess? And it kind of sounds similar to that, you know, how there's a shared kind of space in the dream world. I don't know. Anyways, I was just going to take that off the air because I'm driving. So
Okay, great.
Thanks for the show. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. Yeah, the Aboriginal dream time is an interesting concept. I haven't studied a lot of it, but that might be a possibility for a future show to find somebody who knows about that. Do you have like just 30 seconds or so that you could say something about that, Pam, if it's something you know?
No, I'm with you. I haven't done a lot of study about it, but I do appreciate that the shamanic tradition has had dream as a very important component for guidance for a really long time.
Yes.
Way before, going back to, primitive times. And so I would, if you find an Aboriginal, concept of dream time, somebody to come speak of that, I would tune in and call in with my own questions because it's a beautiful topic. Because dreams have been with us. They're a part of our, human inheritance.
Okay. So Pam, why don't you tell the listeners how they can get in touch with you?
Oh, sure. My website is Sweet Georgia Pam, all spelled out, sweetgeorgiapam.com. And you can email me through the website. I also have social media accounts on Instagram, Facebook, at Sweet Georgia Pam. So you can find me in any of those places. If you follow me on social media, please direct message me and say hi, because I am all over the direct communications with people.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Pam. It's great to have you on the air.
Catherine, it has been great. And I do want to say that I made my pledge a little bit before the show started, because I love the concept of this dream show, and I definitely want to keep it going.
Thank you. And thank you, Pam. I so appreciate you making your pledge. I just was refreshing the page, and I saw that on the air. So, Pam, thank you. And we also have a donation from Mark, and we'll get back into pitching again in another minute. But I so appreciate your generosity, Pam.
Certainly. I'm glad to help. I totally support this station. It's great.
Fabulous. All right. Well, take care.
Thank you.
So next week, join the conversation with Ronald Keith Salmon, who creates award-winning movies designed to awaken our senses. Keith has this to say about the movies. When we surrender to nature's sensate input, our souls begin to dance and sing at the dynamic interface between the natural world and our own true nature. Sounds like he might be a highly sensitive person as well. Also, I want to let you guys know that starting Monday, May 3rd, you can join me, Catherine Bell, for an interactive 5-week Zoom workshop series about dreams and relationships. Blame, shame, projection, and of course, sexuality. All will be on the menu. If you'd like to join this supportive community, you can contact me at catherine@ksqd.org.
Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams.
I am Catherine Bell, and this has been the Dream Journal. Thanks for listening. You can find out more about my dream coaching practice at experientialdreamwork.com, and you can email me at catherine@ksquid.org. That's KATHERINE@ksqd.org. Do contact me so I can sign you up for a free introductory dream consultation. If you like this show, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or tell a friend how much you're enjoying the show. I'd like to thank my program assistant, Max Deaton, and our creative musician, Rick Kleffel, and our call-ins from Ellen, and I think that might have been Ray at the end there. I'm not sure, but he sounded like a familiar voice. Thank you to all the generous donors. This is such a wonderful opportunity to support a vital part of Santa Cruz and beyond. And thank you to all the generous donors who support this station. K-Squid is 100% listener supported. Donations are always welcome at ksqd.org. When you wake up tomorrow morning, take a minute to look within. Do you remember a dream? Write it down and bring it to the next Dream Journal. Are you ready to wake up to the power of your dreams? I am Catherine Bell, and you're listening to KSQD Santa Cruz.